Welcome back to Football Daily. With Ole Gunnar Solskjaer on the ropes at Man United, let's take a look at 5 potential replacements for the Norwegian coach and assess whether they could turn fortunes around at Old Trafford. 5. Antonio Conte. Okay, so we were going to include Antonio Conte on this list for obvious reasons, but with the news that Spurs have hired him, we no longer can. Nevertheless, if you want to see what he could have brought to Manchester United and what he may bring to Spurs, why not check out our latest FD Explained after this. 4. Zinedine Zidane. The Man United squad is full of superstar names, and so hiring the most glamorous manager currently out of work would make sense aesthetically at least. But would Zinedine Zidane be a good appointment otherwise? He is yet to manage any club not named Real Madrid, and Old Trafford is one of the few places that measures up to the Bernabeu for history, prestige and global appeal. And while Zidane isn't the most accomplished tactician out there, he did prove in Madrid to be an adept man manager, taking over a dressing room full of big characters and leading them to 3 consecutive Champions League triumphs. And while he's clearly a good tournament coach, he's also the first Los Blancos manager since Vicente del Bosque to win more than 1 league title with the club. Particularly impressive was the 2016-17 season, his first full campaign in charge. Balancing a heavy schedule which included the Club World Cup in Japan, Zidane reared his star-studded side to a league and Champions League double, sitting first in the Spanish top flight for 32 of 38 game weeks and demolishing Juventus 4-1 in the UCL final. And while motivation and building squad unity was certainly his forte in the Spanish capital, his tactical flexibility and in-game management was also crucial, utilising Ronaldo and Benzema as a front two in the Champions League, something Mourinho and Ancelotti had never thought to do. However, one thing he himself has noted when talking about his success at Madrid was the side's ability to manage itself in tough periods, something this Man United team clearly can't do right now. And while linking back up with Varane and Ronaldo might appeal to him, he has never expressed much interest in managing in the Premier League. And it's probably just as well. Battling Guardiola, Klopp and Tuchel over the course of a season may well be too big a task for him. 3. Mauricio Pochettino. Mauricio Pochettino is employed by one of Europe's biggest clubs right now and has just started working with countryman Lionel Messi, and so it would probably take the Man United hierarchy waiting very patiently for him to become the next full-time manager at Old Trafford. But it's still worth discussing what he'd bring to the job, as he may become a more viable candidate in years to come. After all, he's always been in the club's thinking, with Sir Alex Ferguson also a long-time admirer. When Solskjaer was originally hired on an interim basis in 2018, it was generally thought that Pochettino was the first choice to take over full-time at the end of the season. But that plan went out the window following the Norwegian's excellent start in the dugout, which saw him earn a permanent contract in March 2019. Then in November 2020, as Solskjaer's side endured another poor start to the campaign, Pochettino once again entered the picture. But just as the club were reportedly readying an approach for the former Spurs manager, the Red Devils embarked on a near 3-month unbeaten run in the league, and Ole was awarded another new contract at the end of the campaign. One of the top tacticians working in the game today, Pochettino transformed Tottenham in the mid-2010s, with his focus on fitness, high pressing and quick build-ups making them one of Europe's most entertaining sides. His revolution at White Hart Lane made stars of Harry Kane, Christian Eriksen, Dele Alli, Heung-min Son and Kyle Walker, and he was unfortunate not to get closer to Conte's Chelsea in 2016-17, with Spurs scoring more and conceding less than any other Premier League team that campaign. It would no doubt take time for him to bed in his ideas at Old Trafford. The current crop have never really been a pressing side, while more senior players like Pogba and Bruno aren't the easiest to mould. But aside from the obvious outliers, they remain a young side and are of course brimming with talent. Seeing one of the game's most exciting coaches work with the likes of Sancho and Greenwood is a mouth-watering prospect. And while he may be in a much better position to compete for silverware at PSG, he is also burdened with huge expectations. He has so far failed to consistently get the best out of Neymar, Messi and Mbappe, and having missed out on the Ligue 1 title last term, will face even more pressure if he fails to make the Champions League final. And that's presuming there are no fallouts behind the scenes in the meantime. United's dream appointment may not be as unfeasible as we think. But before we move on to our next potential Solskjaer replacement, are you subscribed to Football Daily? And if not, why not? We put videos like this out every single day, so you really don't want to miss out. Get subscribed and hit that notification bell. 2. Erik ten Hag. Like Poch, Erik ten Hag would also be the choice for Man United fans who want to see a long-term project at Old Trafford. Since taking over at Ajax in 2017, the Dutch coach has made the Amsterdam club one of the most stylish in Europe again, implementing the ideals of Cruyff and Guardiola to great effect. He took on a side which hadn't won the Eredivisie since 2014 and led them to 2 titles. Had the 2019-20 campaign not been null and void, it may well have been 3 on the trot. He's won over 73% of his matches across all competitions, with his side averaging 2.7 goals a game since he's been in charge. For context, Pep Guardiola's Man City have managed 2.4 goals a game since he took over in 2016, and while they're contesting a tougher league, have more or less dominated it for the last 4 years and have a squad worth almost £1 billion. Ajax's current squad by comparison are worth just over £300 million, a figure that would rank them 12th in the Premier League below West Ham and Wolves. Considering Man United boast over £800 million worth of talent, there's no doubt Ten Hag would be able to get a good tune out of them. Like with Pochettino, who would almost certainly demand more from the United squad both physically and mentally than what Solskjaer currently is, with a highly proficient pressing system and near total domination of possession, the 2 main hallmarks of Ajax's style. It would probably take at least a few months, if not a whole season, for his ideas and methods to fully take hold, but as recent demolitions of Borussia Dortmund and PSV illustrate, the results are truly astounding. Not to mention the fact Ten Hag is managing to sustain this form, having seen the club sell most of its top players over the last 2 seasons. And on that subject, there's no doubt that Donny van der Beek would welcome a reunion. 1. Graham Potter. We finish off with a wildcard entry. The original thought was to go with Ralf Rangnick here, with his experience of successfully running multiple clubs, tactical pedigree and years spent at the cutting edge of the game at Red Bull, making him an attractive option for any big club in need of a makeover. But with recent reports that Graham Potter may be considered by Man United should Solskjaer last the season, it's worth taking a look at him. Arguably the most exciting coach to come from English shores in recent years, Potter first made his name with Swedish minnows Östersunds, who he took from the 4th tier to the top flight in 5 seasons, eventually qualifying them for the Europa League in 2017. Since then, he has returned to England, where he turned out for Stoke, Southampton and West Brom as a player, managing Swansea in the Championship for 1 season before being taken on by Brighton. And following 2 seasons in which his attractive style of play didn't translate to an attractive position in the table, the Seagulls are now genuinely challenging for a first ever top half finish. One of the most aggressive pressing teams in the Premier League, Potter's side allow opponents just 9.3 passes per defensive action, fewer than any rival bar Liverpool and Leeds. And he knows how to coach a defence too. Last term they had the 3rd best record according to expected goals against, conceding fewer shots than any team aside from Chelsea, Liverpool or Man City. Tactically flexible too, Potter used 13 different formations last term. Excessive perhaps, but a sign of a manager brimming with ideas and who isn't afraid to make big decisions. Nevertheless, the Man United job may be too big for the Englishman right now. But if he continues to impress on the South Coast or elsewhere, his name will no doubt crop up in these kinds of conversations. So those were our 5 managers who could save Man United, but which of them do you like the most? Let us know in the comments below and give a reason why, and we'll do our best to reply. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like, as it really helps us with the algorithm, and why not subscribe to Football Daily if you haven't done so already. Thanks for watching, we'll see you next time.